interesting. When we talk about Macomb County, the ingenuity of what goes on here, the arsenal of democracy is kind of what we're known for. That creation during the war times of people understanding how to come up with an idea and how to not only come up with the idea, how do we manufacture that and get it in play to help during the war efforts. Well, we've realized, at Southeast Michigan, that ingenuity, arsenal of innovation. Now we're seeing today what's going on in our manufacturing facilities, even though because of this, keeping the distance and the issues with the governor's order of trying to figure out what's essential versus not essential, manufacturing companies are stepping up right now here in Southeast Michigan, in particular Macomb County, for this arsenal of health. And there was a need, not only for masks and face shields, but right now we're hearing of a huge demand within our healthcare facilities and our first responders with the gowns. And so we know that obviously Cadillac decided to step up to the challenge and say, how do we reverse engineer something to make these gowns readily available for our hospitals and possibly even our first responders? And you were the one that really started making this happen here. Tell us how this was created.
Yeah, so my cousin is a nurse at Sinai Grace, and she reported a shortage. We're running out. What are we going to do? So her father makes the film that you're wearing, and he sent some to us and said, hey, let's see what you can do. Is there anything you can do there? So we did some processing trials, had some really good success. Hey, I think we can do this. So I said, hey, Maggie, I think I can do this. Do you have a gown? She had a gown. I went over to her house that night. Saturday morning, we're on our hands and knees in our tool shop with our designers, and we're reverse engineering this gown, getting it into CAD, and then Sunday morning, we're making our first gown, much like the one you're wearing. So it was a rapid prototyping, design build, and finding out that we could do it and repurposing some of our currently unused manufacturing equipment to do this. Mark, a lot of it was how fast can we get this done? Because there's a speed is the essence, right? How fast can we get this done? So that's kind of how the idea came to be, and how can we help with what we know we can do? And we know we could do this, and we got it done in about 20 days. So.
And how the first one you made obviously took a long time because you had to get a prototype, you had to figure out first reverse
50
engineer
hours for the first one.
First one.
Yep.
And then you finally figured out, okay, a process. And I'm looking over here at some of the stuff that's being done. And it's pretty remarkable. It's just kind of like somebody said, hey, I got an idea. Let's create a spindle out of some 2x4s and kind of get some guys together to spin it out to make sure you have what you need as far as a necessity to put it up on this cutter. And this is kind of a makeshift cutter. You use it for other purposes. And now you got this makeshift cutter. And when it gets up there, what is it? Is it the water cutter? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a water jet robot. Water jet, so it's high pressure water, running about 60,000 psi. Very high pressure water, very thin stream of water, about 7 thousandths in diameter.
And how many are they cutting at a time?
They're cutting 60 at a time. So we're getting close to about 1,500 an hour in this cut process. When these get sealed and finished, we're getting closer and closer to 600 an hour that we can seal and make.
And so you're going to be taking these over to another facility that is part of your organization, your company, and they actually do the sealing of this portion here.
It goes just down the street, gets a little bit closer to the hospital, and we do the sealing and packing in cardboard boxes that have been donated by another company, Universal Container, donated the boxes.
I got to ask you, so it's your cousin, is that correct?
Yes.
She's in the healthcare field?
Yes.
And God bless her for what she's doing right now. They're the true heroes with what's going on
Certainly
with this healthcare crisis. But had she not have come to you with this concern, what would you have been doing otherwise? Waiting for things to get back up and running?
Waiting for that good idea, maybe looking at making face shields and other things that we're looking at, but waiting for things to get back up and running, and maybe just wishing we could help.
So you feel like you're part of this process right now to be part of the solution and be helpful in trying to
There is a piece
design.
that even the volunteers are getting out of this effort, and that's the good feeling that they're doing something to help. They're not just sitting there helpless, that they can help.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I mean, now that you see what you're able to create, that's got to make you feel like...
There's a lot of pretty big egos around here right now, and a lot of people riding on some pretty high clouds of what we were able to achieve in such a small amount of time. And really, I have to attribute all of our success to our supplier partners and our team here, because these are some really creative individuals behind me and at the Troy facility. We've had about 50 people working on this, and all the ideas and the kind of junkyard innovation that we've come up with have come out of these guys and gals' heads. So really the teamwork that's put together has made this go.
Yeah, and credit to you. I mean, it's amazing when you stop and you think about it. I mean, as a county, our responsibility is to try to figure out how do we gather all the needs, and our emergency management, we've been doing this since day one. State of emergency created an opportunity for us to gather all the interest from whether it's the healthcare providers, our first responders, figure out what's going on with our schools. And early on, the big need was the masks, the N95s. We found that there were companies that stepped up to try to figure out how to make those. The face shields became a concern. So we had other companies from Macomb County that figured out how do we design, how do we engineer these. But the most latest and the biggest concern right now were these gowns. And so when we heard your company organization was trying to figure out how do you manufacture these and make these, well, I tell you what, it fit right into that play of what we see here in Macomb County with that ingenuity. And so I wanted to come out here. I heard you guys are doing this, to take a look at this, and to see this, I'll be honest with you, these are far more, I guess, creative and useful than I originally thought. Coming out here, I thought it was going to be kind of a simplistic, gown or whatever, but these are very high tech, and I got to believe they're going to be absolutely amazed at what you guys were able to pull off here. Those that are part of the healthcare industry, as well as the people that are out there as first responders. So
thanks, Mark. We have some
credit to
really
you
good
and your
feedback.
workers.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Typical of what goes on here in Macomb County with our manufacturers.